Hey guys, I'm Josh McLean, president of David Walters Yachts, and I'm really glad to be sitting here with my boy Ronnie. And we're up here at the Newport International Boat Show, and had a really good chance to catch up with Ronnie here. And I think for a lot of folks, Ronnie's a pretty well-known name in the sailing community, but also a real inspiration for a lot of veterans out there. Ronnie, we've had a close personal connection. I mean, obviously, Ryan and I, we kind of both grew up in the same generation in the veteran community. And Ronnie, you've been an inspiration to myself, and just seeing what you've done over the years and your objectives going forward. It's my hope that through our platform at David Walters Yachts, we can really set you up well and be a big advocate and a voice out there to try to help you meet some of your personal objectives.
Thank you.
Yeah, Ronnie, your story really resonated with me when you and I first met. I mean, we're both veterans.
Yeah.
We both served, and you're a wounded veteran. And I just want to know a little bit more about your story on how you went from, I want to know the transition from your wounded veteran story to professional round the world solo sailor. And what's that look like?
I'm 40 years old, and I had never sailed until I was 23. So, really long story short, I grew up in the South, mostly riding dirt bikes and racing go-karts.
Sounds like a pretty good childhood.
I always, that's the one constant in my life. I've always tried to go fast and go race stuff. And I was racing cross country. I was even racing my feet. And so, I got injured in Iraq when I was 19 in the Marine Corps.
And what year was that, Ronnie?
2004.
Yeah.
So I got injured on June 30th, 2004 when I was 19 in Fallujah, Iraq. And I got injured really seriously. I came back from Iraq in an 18-day long medically induced coma. My eyes got really permanently damaged. I lost half my left lung. I've got some burn scars. I got some scars in the back of my head and stuff. And I broke all my ribs. I blew out my left eardrum. Again, 12.5% burn scars. I had some traumatic brain injuries. Ended up making a really solid recovery. The only part being my eyes are permanently damaged and I'm missing half my left lung. But I got hurt when I was 19, and right after that, my dad died.
Wow.
And when I was 19, 4 months later, and that was a super difficult and traumatic point in my life. And I was very, very lost, and I found myself really searching for something in my early 20s.
Yeah.
So in my early 20s, I got retired from the Marines right before my 21st birthday. And then I was in college. I was in Texas where I had ended up in the Marines, and I was just I was searching for something in my life, and I found it sailing.
Yeah.
I started sailing when I was 23, and it just immediately clicked. And pretty much from that point forward, I sold my stuff. I moved to California, bought a boat. I started racing everything I could. And through racing, then I started doing some deliveries, and that got me on bigger, faster boats. I learned how to drive pretty well. I got on bigger, faster boats, started doing a lot of sailing. And then from that point, I was like, I can do a delivery and make some money on that. Okay, well, I can go be a rigger and be a sailboat rigger. And that's everyone's intro to pro sailing is they're either a sailmaker or they're a rigger or whatever, so they can be able to leave the office every time there's a big race. And so I was basically just threw myself at the industry, started working in the industry, and just started sailing on as many boats as I could and just getting as many miles as I could and as much experience as I could. I started sailing in 2008, and in 2010 I completed my first solo race to Hawaii. Let me back up 1 second. I started sailing in 2008, and in 2008, that was the Vendée Globe year.
Wow.
So in the end of 2008, I discovered the Vendée Globe. And the moment I discovered the Vendée Globe, I said, that's what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
And it was that concrete. The moment I saw the Vendée Globe for the first time, I said, that's what I want to do with my life.
Yeah.
I want to race solo nonstop around the world. And so I did my first solo race in 2010, California to Hawaii. I did that race again in 2012, California to Hawaii solo. I did a bunch of Transpac races with full crew, but my passion was the solo stuff.
Yeah.
And I just kept on pursuing that. Eventually I did a lot of cruising, did a lot of racing, a lot of cruising. I've worked as a yacht broker, a charter captain, a rigger, a delivery captain. I've just done a lot of work in the marine industry and always been very passionate about the sport, but my goal was always to race solo around the world.
Yeah.
And I got that opportunity in 2022. A friend reached out to me and was like, hey, I've got the right boat for you. I want you to go race around the world. Here's a boat and no money. So I flew to Portland, Maine on a one-way ticket, picked up this Open 50. I figured out how to get to the start line 14 months later in Spain. I began the Global Solo Challenge in 2023 in October. I raced 80% of the way around the world. I was in third place out of 16 boats, and after 80% of the way around the world, I dismasted off the coast of Argentina. It was a really, really tricky, complicated situation, and unfortunately, I lost the boat at sea after it dismasted due to a very big storm coming up behind me. But I made it out alive, and I came back last year, and I said, I've really got to go do this. I've really got to go finish what I started. And so I decided that last year, kind of near the end of the year, and then early this year, I leveraged myself and I took out a bank loan and I bought this thing, and I'm kind of like all in. It's a pretty big gamble, but I've got a lot of my heart and soul and finances into going again, and hopefully the gamble pays off. Trying to put together the campaign and figure out financially how to do it and find the resources, find the sponsorship, find the funding, find the private backing. It's a lot of sailing to be done. There's a lot of work to be done, but I feel really fortunate to even be in the circumstance that like people want to interview me because I'm doing something super cool. Yeah. And it's like, it's a big risk, but there's a big reward. Yeah. And it's again, like I told you a few minutes ago, I came to the conclusion that after putting so much of myself into the last race and not quite getting the finish, I really have unfinished business, and like that's the thing. Like I have to go do this again. Yeah,
that's incredible to me. I mean, in the span of a very short period of time, you went from wounded veteran to world-renowned solo sailor. And I mean that you've been an inspiration for a lot of the veteran community. I mean, me personally, and I look at what you've done. And the challenges you've overcome, and then put yourself right back into the path of the next biggest challenge. I mean, you've overcome challenges that nobody could fathom, coming back from Iraq as a wounded veteran to where you are today. Man, you just have this drive, this constant drive for challenging yourself and overcoming adversity. And man, it's incredible. And you've been really involved with the veteran community as well, right?
Yeah. I mean, and so like that's something that, thanks for that little segue. I was sailing has given me so much.
Yeah, a purpose
a livelihood.
Yeah.
I mean, most of my friends and community and camaraderie have come to the sailing community. Sailing has given me so much.
Yeah.
And one of my goals, and I consider myself really fortunate. I've had some pretty tough breaks in life, but like let's be honest, like I'm pretty fortunate. Like we're here in Newport.
Yeah.
Like what a great place to be here at the boat show. I mean, we're so fortunate. But like sailing has given me so much, and that's always been something really near and dear to my heart, is to try to share the gifts sailing has given me with other veterans.
Yeah.
I've been saying for a long time publicly that like sailing saved my life.
Yeah.
I was in a really rough spot in my early 20s after losing my father, getting hurt in Iraq, ending up in Texas pretty much on my own with no adult supervision, trying to figure life out.
Yeah.
And I figured out a not normal life, but I love my life. I'm very grateful for my partner. But sailing has given me so many gifts, and I'm really passionate about trying to like give back and try to like share that with other veterans. And I came across U.S. Patriot Sailing and Peter Quinn.
He's been a great advocate of yours.
Yeah. And the founder of U.S. Patriot Sailing, which is how I know you guys, was through him.
Yep.
That's how I have Annapolis ties, is really through him and through U.S. Patriot. So I've known those guys since 2015. And the first time I met Peter and U.S. Patriot, I did a race from Charleston to Annapolis in 2015. And I got to know those guys, and I said, this is a great organization. This is something like I'm super passionate about, and I'm stoked to be able to even do anything with them just to help push their mission, which is to like help veterans heal through competitive sailing.
Yeah.
I think just like the mission fulfillment, the camaraderie, the community, the challenge, the inspiration, getting out of the house, staying fit, getting some vitamin D on your face. Like, so many things that a lot of times a person with no purpose can be a pretty vulnerable individual.
Exactly.
And like you look at, what the most effective way statistically to prevent veteran suicide statistically,
give them a purpose.
give them a puppy.
Exactly.
Give them a dog.
Yeah.
You have data out there that says like, you give a veteran a dog and he or she statistically is no longer at risk of killing themselves because they have a purpose. Like, I got to be here for that dog.
Yeah.
And like, it's a similar thing. Like, give them a purpose. If that sailboat race in 3 months
saved your life,
can mean so much more than anyone ever knows. And then through that experience, they build this team and community, and something that like a lot of them lose, a lot of veterans lose when they get out of the service.
Exactly.
And like, honestly, man, it's just like, it can happen so many different ways. Community league softball, sailing, work, family, church. Like, it's about community. And that's what US Patriot's about. It's a great group of human beings.
I agree.
And I'm just like stoked to be able to help them any way I can and volunteer. And a lot of my good friends have come through there, and I don't get to spend as much time as I want in Annapolis, which is why I'm super stoked to come down in October.
We'll
so
see you
I
there.
look forward to seeing you guys and taking everyone sailing and having a great time and celebrate being alive.
Yeah, you know, I mean, what you said there about, you know, and that really resonates for me, because I know when I got out of the service, one of the number one things that I struggled with, and in fact, there's a book out there named Tribe, and you've probably read it, but the whole purpose of that, I'm going to send you a copy of that book. But there's that book is all about, the transition from veteran to civilian life. And the reason why a lot of folks struggle with that is, the best days and worst days of your life are war. You build a camaraderie, and you have this purpose and this drive and this collective and this brotherhood that ties you together, and struggling to find that in the civilian world, and even especially given the adversity that coming back as a wounded veteran, I can absolutely understand how sailing gave you that purpose and that drive. And man, I mean, you've come up against challenge after challenge, and you embody that, man. You've been an inspiration for so many veterans out there. I mean, even speaking beyond the sailing community, I mean, veterans look to you as, you've transitioned from wounded veteran to you found a new purpose in life. And I think, I mean, dude, what you have done.
It's reinventing yourself post-injury.
Exactly. Yeah.
We had a lot of guys. I've done a lot with veterans and sailing for 14 years, since like 2011.
Yeah.
And it was really funny. There were times when we would have these sailing clinics. I started this series of sailing clinics with a different nonprofit many years ago out in California, and then eventually with US Patriot Sailing. And there would be these men and women that would still basically sort of identify as, hey, I'm a combat wounded vet. Yeah. And it's like, all right, man, that was like 9 years ago. Yeah. Like, it's time to
find a new purpose.
Yeah. And like, we've had several people that then 3 years later, I was like, now that guy's an artist.
Yeah.
Have you seen the art he's doing?
Yeah.
Now that guy's an entrepreneur. Did you see the company he started?
Yeah.
Now that guy's a veteran advocate. Or now that woman is an avid sailor and is a yacht broker. Or there's so many ways. It's about reinventing yourself. I couldn't have said it better, because that's like the biggest thing is like, you never forget your past. You never forget where you came from. You'll always be a veteran. You'll always have those connections, but it's really about reinventing yourself.
Nobody's done that. I mean, in my eyes, no one's been done that better than you. And I mean, you've been a real inspiration for a lot of folks. So, you kicked off your global challenge last time. You dismasted. You had that adversity, and now you're setting out to do that again, October 2027. Yep. And it strikes a really personal tone for me, because I want to see you succeed, and I want to be able to put this message out to our audience and our clients and our the folks we have within our network to try to help you accomplish that goal. Because it's really amazing what you're doing, and it's an inspiration to me, and I want to be able to share that message with our clients and within our network and our veteran community, and try to help you achieve that. So, as you lean forward into that next challenge, I mean, what do you need, and how can folks support you? And not just the big corporation and the sponsorships, but the folks that can spare a few dollars here and there. What can we do to help you achieve your next mission?
I mean, it's no secret. I think one of the big things you really need is yacht racing is very expensive. Yeah. So like you need a lot of money to race around the world is extremely expensive. Yeah. So we are building a campaign and looking for big corporate sponsors, but really it's It's the help of a lot of individuals and the support of a lot of individuals. So like you guys right now are using the outlet you have to try to give me some exposure to connect to the right people that can make a little bit of progress. And like, I really appreciate that. Like, thank you. And for someone else, it's the individual that's here at the show that says, hey man, I work for this company. We sell this product. I want to help you out. What can I do? They come on board as a sponsor. They give us great deals. It helps us get the boat outfitted. For some people, it's going to be like, hey, I think my cousin's the CFO of whatever, and this sounds great. And that's how a lot of my connections have come, is that I get these emails and it's like, hey, I work at such and such a company. My neighbor met you at blank. Told me your story. We want to support. And so, I mean, there's so many ways someone can support. You can go to RonnieSimpsonRacing.com, and it can be everything from like, if you're at a yacht club somewhere on the East Coast or elsewhere, feel free to reach out. I'm doing a lot of yacht club speaking gigs. It's about meeting community. If you are with a company and you think, hey, maybe this company can support it. If you're an individual who has done well for themselves and they want to help contribute, there is a GoFundMe. There is a crowdsourcing, but also through U.S. Patriot Sailing, we can raise 501c3 charitable dollars as well. I mean, but there's so many ways that people can help out. So please just get in touch if you want to help me book a speaking gig. We've got, like production company in Portland is going to do like a little professional trailer for us in November. We've got a couple of PR people that are helping work kind of sort of pro bono or at really discounted rates. Even my naval architect that designs this boat, he's like, well, I can't crunch numbers for free, but like I'll give you the good guy rate. And, it's like,
and you're a pretty good guy.
And so like so many people are just helping out in small ways. I mean, we've got some swag for sale. And it's sort of like, it's a $40 hat, but we tack on $40 as a contribution. So like it's an $80 hat. And so like we've been selling some swag and stuff like that. There's a million little ways, but even just like give me a follow on Instagram, shoot me a comment. Like, it's that support, just knowing people are behind you.
And it's big and small.
And it's like such a psychological boost. Like you don't have to have money to support. Like it's such a psychological boost when you know that. Like those guys, Josh and Eric, and those guys, they're all rooting for me. I gotta go shake that reef out and get the boat up to speed. You know, it's like if you're out there alone, you might feel quite isolated. But I know that I'm out there by myself, and I'm not alone. You know, you got a lot of people in your corner, and that makes a big difference.
And we talked about that a moment ago when you were going around on your first global challenge. You described to me the names that you had, signed all over your boat, and how that may have helped you get through some of those low points.
There was a well-known French sailor named Bertrand de Broc, and he funded 2 Vendée Globes. Doing your name around the world. It was like $100 or whatever. Get your name on the boat. And he's like, well, if I get 10,000 names, that's $1 million.
Absolutely.
Right? For $100 each. And so I did a similar thing, and I got probably a couple hundred names for like $100 each, whatever. And we wrote them all inside the boat. And I would come down at 3 a.m, and I was all wet and tired, and I would see all these names and be like,
that's really cool.
I got to go back up there and shake the reef out, and I got to like get the boat back up to speed because like all those guys are behind me. And it's just even seeing that, like we'll probably do something similar on this boat. Not only was it a good, fun fundraising thing, but it's about building community. And even the way that we're doing it, like I'm not necessarily trying to get one company to write us a huge check. I'm trying to get a bunch of entities. It's really about building a community. And so like we're doing that in Maine and around the East Coast, but even like everywhere. I've got a lot of Hawaii ties and California ties, and it's about building community and really trying to give back as well. I really want to try to give back and make this campaign mean something, but also to try to grow the sport in the U.S.
Well, I mean, on a personal level, what you're doing already has had a meaningful impact. And, I can pledge to you, our support's fully behind you. And what I'd like to do going forward is on a quarterly basis, I want to be able to check in with you and provide an update out to our audience and be your biggest advocate. Because, man, what you're doing is an inspiration to a lot of people. And, I'm going to send this video out to our mailing list, our newsletter list. I want to blow your story up because you've been an inspiration for me, a lot of veterans out there. And what you're doing is not only admirable, but, I can see you know, how your story embodies a lot of the struggle that a lot of veterans have had.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important, man. What you're doing for the veteran community and the sailing community, I mean, and for you personally, man, it's one of the coolest stories I've heard. And I think it deserves to be told. And, you know, if I can play any small part in trying to help you tell that, I'd love to do it. You know, I'd like to put out a word to, you know, our clients and our industry partners to fully put your support behind Ronnie. I mean, contributions, small and large, will make the difference. Whether it's monetary contributions, support behind the program, or just being your cheerleaders, man. I mean, seriously, what you're doing is incredible. And, you know, it's just, it hits a personal note for me. And yeah, man, it's first and foremost, it's just good to know you and to hear your story and to see what you're doing out there, because it's a big inspiration.
Thanks,
yeah.
much.
So we're gonna check in with Ronnie periodically. I'm gonna send this video out to, you know, our client base, and hopefully use your donation platform as a springboard to try to help you raise the funds that you need. I mean, I think you told me earlier you need about $1 million between now and October 2027, and $1 million sooner rather than later. So, you know, we're gonna definitely do our part to try to help you hit that goal and get the word out as widely as we can. So I'd really encourage anybody out there, whether you're a client of David Walters Yachts, or you have a connection out there, please put your support behind Ronnie, because what he's doing is not only amazing for the sailing community in the United States, but I mean, for the veteran community out there, it's just, there's nobody else carrying that torch, I think, better than you, and serving as an inspiration for a lot of the not only the wounded veterans, but those who've come back. And there's been millions of veterans who have returned from war, who have struggled to find their purpose in the way that you have, and you've set an example for many. And I think, man, it's an incredible story, and it deserves to be told.
Thanks, man.
So, yeah, dude.
Appreciate it.
All right. So we're going to check in with Ronnie from time to time. We're going to check in with Ronnie again, probably at the Annapolis Sailboat Show. And it's my hope every couple of months we can get an update on his progress. You got a couple of benchmarks coming up, right, before you prepare for the final departure in October 2027.
Yeah.
A few races, some qualifying events. Yeah. So, you know, I want to hear how that progress is coming along, and hopefully we can do our small part to try to help you reach your fundraising goal.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. So I'm gonna, you know, there will be a link to the donation. That's all proceeds are gonna go directly to Ronnie. I'm gonna include that in the description of this video, as well as some of the newsletters that we're gonna be putting out. And you know, I want to see that the full Dave Walters Yachts community and the sailing community as a whole can get behind this man right here, because, you know, you're a special individual, Ronnie.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Great. Thanks, man. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you.
Yep. All right.